good. Well, thank you so much for all of you testifying today, and thank you for your transparency and for giving us some very insightful information. So my first question is to Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, you gave an interview with 60 Minutes recently, and in that interview you said that essentially the supply chain attack was ongoing currently. One question I have right out of the box is, are you aware of that, of whether that malware and that attack is potentially present on computers in the U.S. House of Representatives?
We're not aware of this being focused on the U.S. House of Representatives. So no, the answer is no, I'm not aware of that.
How about the U.S. Senate?
I'm not aware of any use of this tactic on the U.S. Senate either. We have seen cyber attacks, in the past on members of the House and members of the Senate, and whenever we've detected them, we have let either the Sergeant of Arms or the Speaker's office or members know.
Sorry, my time is limited, Mr. Smith, so I'm just going to ask you to respond briefly. How about the Office of the President?
I'm not aware of any attack using this vector on the Office of the President.
Now, in that 60 Minutes interview, you also mentioned that perhaps the only way, because you have to understand this, the way I kind of picture this is that it's almost like the burglar is in the home while we are all here. And one of the things that you said that really struck me in your 60 Minutes interview is that you said that perhaps the only way to make sure that we get rid of this attack or this intruder is to, quote unquote, rip and replace every single piece of network equipment and computer that may have been affected. Do you still stand by that quote that you gave to 60 Minutes?
Yeah, I don't know that I'm the one who said that. If I did, I referred to the thought that some have that may need to be done. I don't myself.
Okay, let me stop you there for a second. Have you done an assessment of what that might require? Because at the end of the day, we need a foolproof way to eject the intruder from our home. We cannot be in a situation where the intruder has carte blanche espionage capability on us. So talk to me a little bit about that. What type of effort would be required if we were to undertake that?
Well, we have not been asked to, and to the best of my knowledge, we have not undertaken an analysis of what it would take to rip and replace all of the, say, technology infrastructure of a particular agency or part of government. It's actually not what I believe it needs to be done. I think that efforts are better focused on other approaches.
Well, here's my concern, which is that what is the foolproof way to get rid of the intruder from our collective home at this point? Because we're tired of hearing that the intruder is here. We have no idea what that intruder is doing, but we should just kind of move on to the next subject. We need to eject the intruder from our computers right now, whether it's in the private sector or in the public sector. So what is the foolproof way that would come short of ripping and replacing all this network infrastructure?
Well, I would say two things. Number one, one always needs to identify how someone got in or is getting in order to get them back out. So, that is in the realm of the kind of cybersecurity sort of forensic investigation that, a company like Microsoft can help with, a company like FireEye does, every day, it among the best or the best in the world. That's one part. The second thing is there are 5 really straightforward cybersecurity steps that we believe put together will strengthen protection across the board. Move authentication into the cloud, secure each of your devices, ensure that you're using anti-malware software across the board, use multi-factor authentication, apply least privilege access. You do those 5 things following a review by a company like FireEye, you should be in a much, much stronger position.
I guess my final question to Mr. Ramakrishna, you obviously have come in after you're the new CEO and you're coming into a pretty bad situation. The NSA is not allowed to surveil private networks. It's only allowed to surveil foreign networks. Is the FBI and current agencies capable of doing what is necessary to surveil private sector networks in the U.S.?
Congressman Krishnamoorthi, I wish I were an expert in being able to give you a yes or no answer on that, but I'm not particularly qualified to address that. Does some level of surveillance and sharing of information between private and public sector need to happen at a level that is not happening today? My belief is absolutely yes, but with regards to surveillance, I'm not the expert to address it.
Fair enough. Thank you.